All right. Well, welcome back to Musical Musings. I'm Callum.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Jack.
Awesome.
What
We've been, I don't know. It's been a bit.
You're non-functioning today.
No.
We did it perfect.
We did. Yeah, that's why I was just like, all right, cool. This is one of our monthly album episodes. You would know that by the fact that this one's going to be like an hour and a half long. Hopefully not. And this week we're listening to the first album by The Killers, Hot Fuss, which is one of, in my not so humble opinions, best albums of all time. I think it's 12 songs and it's 6 songs a side, so it's only 2 sides. So we can listen to a full first side, come back, listen to the whole second side, come back. It'll be nice and easy. None of this, 6 album LP shit anymore.
It's not an hour and a half long.
It is like an hour long. Some of the songs are a bit longer, but...
I have no idea what to expect. Is Mr. Brightside on this album?
I believe it's the second song.
Okay. Well, that's all I know of The Killers.
Which is kind of crazy, considering this is like their first album. Mr. Brightside, I think I read some of that. It was, since its release, it has been on, like the top 10 hits in Britain since it came out.
Right.
Wow.
Like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Also, very frequently sung at the Dickens.
At
for
karaoke. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you there when they sang it?
No, I think I got out. I got out right after Piano Man.
You're like, this is horrible.
Yeah. I did go home and listen to Piano Man, though. I was just like...
Well, if you got one thing out of that night, it was that.
It was that I heard somebody sing this really badly.
Yeah, and you're like,
I
I
need
need
to
to
listen to
cleanse.
actual Billy Joel.
Yeah.
There are probably a couple songs you guys will recognize off this one, even if you don't know The Killers that much. Most of the most famous songs are on this album.
And this came out 04, did you say?
Something like that. I can double check, and I'll double check while we listen so that I'm not wasting too much time.
So I was probably like around 1 year old when this came out.
I would have been like 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, go listen to the first 6 songs, I believe it is. I think it's the first 6. Skip ahead to when we come back and tell you what we just listened to.
Yeah.
All right.
Go listen to the entire album. No, I mean, if you want to, you can. But...
You will eventually. This is a very good album. There's like one song on this entire album that I don't have on a playlist somewhere.
Wow, okay.
So, big
I wonder if we
recommendation.
could pick it out.
You might be able to.
Okay.
You'll probably... Because I'm going to like bop to all of them, and I'm going to get to
I
one
think
and be
it's
like...
gonna be-
I don't really know this one.
Yeah.
It's not even like it's a bad one. I don't know.
Less good.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Good to know.
Well,
See you on the flip side.
kiddo. Alright, so that was the first 5 songs on Hot Fuss.
Yes.
What did you guys think? Do you want to start with Jamie? Because we never let you talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll start. It was good. I really liked it. I mean, I've listened to The Killers, like their, top hits and stuff, but I can't say that I've ever listened to this album all the way through, and now I'm just like, why have I never listened to this album all the way through? And I'm gonna have to buy it on vinyl now. But yeah, it was really good overall for the first side. I don't know if you guys want to get into the tracks individually.
We can get like general vibes the first side, and then we can go like track by track if we want.
Yeah, I liked it. What I didn't know that was part of the Killers sound that I liked was all the synthesizers. I really dug that. I think it's cool that they have kind of a hard rock or like punk sound, but they also have like synths in there as well. It kind of just gives it a nice. It just kind of expands the sonic palette a little bit more, so it's not quite as abrasive.
It almost like feels more like full. I don't know how to describe it.
It does.
A lot of punk, it's like, because it's so no nonsense, it's like start and stop.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like the whole song start to finish, you are getting noise, and then when the noise calms down, it's only for like very specific moments, which can be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it. I said to Callum before we started recording, I was like, I have no idea if I'm going to like this or not, because all I knew was Mr. Brightside, and I don't think I kind of maybe recognized. Somebody told me.
I was going to say those are probably the biggest 2 that you would recognize off the top.
It felt like something I might have heard like while I was like in Hot Topic.
Oh my god.
Which is kind of the vibe that I got from most of it, but not in like a bad way. Like, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm just like,
shitting on Hot Topic.
Well, I am shitting on Hot Topic, but I'm not shitting on the Killers. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to make it seem like that's all that this music is. Like I really liked the longest song on there was all the things I've done.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, that was a great song. Like, from start to finish, there's so many different elements in it.
Which is funny because it's like the most nonsensical one.
Yeah.
So it's fun that's like, I'm kind of not surprised it's the one you like the most.
Well, I feel like a lot of the lyrics that I've heard so far are kind of like esoteric. Like, there's not like, other than Mr. Brightside, which I feel like definitely like start to finish kind of tells a story. A lot of the songs, it's kind of vague and like you can kind of interpret it a couple different ways, but yeah, the general vibe of that one I thought was really cool, and it was kind of, the production was kind of epic, and the whole like build up and then how it kind of calmed down at the end was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say we could get into the individual tracks.
The two things I want to say first. Do either of you guys know where this band is from?
Well, I think I read that they were American, but
can you guess where they're from? Based on their sound, I wonder if you can guess where they might be from.
Well, based on their sound, I was gonna say California, but like the it almost feels maybe more like I don't know, like Maine or something. I don't know.
I wouldn't even have a place to guess.
The Midwest.
They're from Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
I feel like that adds up.
Yeah, it kind of tracks. You get it a lot more in the second album. Sam's Town has a lot of themes around like the desert and stuff like that.
Mm.
And so does Imploding the Mirage, which is much later on. But one of the other cool things about the Killers is that most of their albums have their own sound. So like Hot Fuss has a lot of that synth.
Mm-hmm.
And while most of their albums have that, they kind of vary album to album.
Mm-hmm.
Sam's Town is much more classic rock. Their latest album, Pressure Machine, is like, it's a concept album that's like half spoken word, half acoustic rock, which is strange.
When did their latest album come out? Like
Pressure Machine? It came out pretty recently.
Okay, so they're still pretty active.
Yes.
Oh, one other thing I want to say too is like, for a debut album, I'm like really impressed with how tight they sound, how much of like a creative vision they seem to have.
Most of that comes from the lead singer. However, apparently like all of them were very involved with the creation of most of the music.
I feel like the songs, like, they all fit together on an album, but there's so much diversity. I feel like going into this, I was thinking, oh, Mr. Brightside's on here. It's going to be a lot of like that type of music. And while they kind of all the songs go together well, they don't sound the same.
No.
Yeah.
I would say the one that sounds most similar to Mr. Brightside is the first song, which is, what's it called?
Jenny was a friend of mine.
Jenny was a friend of mine.
Which is actually my favorite song on the album right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
I really like that one.
I like that one, yeah, but yeah, the ones I liked the most out of side one were, I mean, I like Mr. Brightside, obviously. It was actually, it's nice to hear it like actually sung like by the Killers.
Yeah, not like by some random drunk. Like,
yeah, that was a nice change. I liked that one. I liked All These Things That I've Done, and Smile. I liked it. Honestly, I liked every song.
Yeah. Me too.
I think every song, at least on the, like, I think almost every song on here is really good, but especially the first side is like, they kind of slap back to back.
Mm-hmm.
They released Hot Fuss in 2004, Sam's Town 2006, Day and Age 2008. They took a hiatus, Battleborn in 2012, which is like the only album I've not listened to all the way through. Wonderful Wonderful 2017, Imploded Mirage 2020, Pressure Machine 2021. Okay. So they took a 4-year break, and then they have released music pretty consistently every couple
And I think they're still touring too.
Oh
yeah. So
they're still very big. And I think they recently released a single for the next album.
Oh, cool.
Which is also a pretty good song. So, do we want to go song by song?
Sure.
Yeah.
Jenny Was a Friend of Mine. Yeah, this one, it was one that like, so I really like the Killers because my uncle showed them to me when I was really young. I think he gave me this CD for Sawdust, which is one of their albums, like one of the middle albums that they came out. And I ended up listening to like all of these songs individually, except Jenny Was a Friend of Mine, for like years. I just listened to all of them out of order.
Mm-hmm.
But this one ended up being like one of my favorites. I really like the bass line in it.
Mm-hmm. It's a good opener.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very it's very dramatic.
It is, yeah.
So I think that it kind of like sets a good tone for the album. But again, like I don't really know what it's about. I guess I don't know. Something about somebody being held like for like doing a crime. And,
yeah. Apparently, because I looked it up ahead of time a little bit, because I also didn't really know what much of the song's been, so I did a little bit of research. This song, a song on the second album called Midnight Show, and a song off of a later album, a part of what they call the Murder Trilogy, which is an out-of-order retelling of a jealous boyfriend who kills his girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Wait, so is Jenny the girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like struggling to figure out if she was the girlfriend or if she was like another woman or something. I was really struggling to figure out what the story behind this song was.
It's definitely like esoteric, like most of their music seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think this is the last. Even though it's the first song on the album of the first album they've released, it's the last part of the story.
Right, so it's told like backwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we won't even hear the last part because it's not on this album.
Right.
Yeah, this is the boyfriend being brought in for questioning.
Right.
One of the parts about this that I really, really like this song specifically, is those two parts in the verses where he like, it's almost like he loses control.
Mm-hmm.
He has like one line in each verse. I think the one in the second verse is like, I just can't take it. And he feels like he cracks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I really like that little bit of added oomph in those parts.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt, because I wrote some notes down, and I, like I said, was unsure, but I thought that it was like almost like two people who were almost in like a codependent relationship that they couldn't let go of even though they wanted to. But when you bring up that narrative of like the jealous boyfriend in this, it's almost like I was kind of on the right track, but it was just him that was like codependent, and then shit hit the fan, I guess. And he snapped, and he still is struggling to let go of the relationship.
It's almost like, I think that it's almost like the song takes place during an interrogation. Like from the minute the song starts, he's like talking to somebody saying he didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's fitting that a band called The Killers would have a murder trilogy.
Right? Yeah. It opens with a one of three parts inverted storytelling. Like,
do you know, did they have that intention of coming back to that song and continuing the story by going backwards?
I don't know if they did at the time. I don't know if they ever said like when the album came out that they were planning on like making this a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an MCU thing.
Yeah, expanded Killers. You actually, funny enough, you do get it across certain albums, because I think at one point you can tell that like somebody in the band had a kid, because a lot of the music starts involving like a coming of age and stuff like that. Pressure Machine is a really big album about like domestic life.
Mm-hmm.
And their most recent single is called Boy, which is about like a kid becoming a teenager.
Okay.
So they definitely do a lot of like storytelling in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why I started this conversation, like this topic, and I've lost the track of where we came from.
Do we want to move on to track
Sure. Mr. Brightside, the most popular song like fucking ever.
Yeah. Not even popular Killer song.
No.
Just
it's like everybody. Weirdly enough, like in my mind, when I think of rock songs that everybody knows, it's up there with stuff like Bohemian Rhapsody.
I think it is. Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, what can we really say about this song? Like
that hasn't been said before.
Yeah, like it's a great song. It's very catchy. Definitely, like this one, tells the lyrics are very.
It feels pretty clear.
Yeah, evocative. It's telling a very like clear story. I think what makes it so good is like all the details. Like he's lighting a smoke, and she's calling a cab. Like it's just those little details that really like paint a clear picture in your head of what's going on.
That part especially too, like when he's saying like now she's falling asleep and he's calling a cab, and he keeps saying like and. It's almost like you're listening to somebody having a panic attack.
Yeah,
it's like a doom spiral going
right
on,
exactly.
Like, is this happening? It's not even clear.
Yeah.
It's just like this is what he's envisioning.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, I feel like it's not some of the lyrics, like when he says like how she's falling asleep and like whatever, he's clearly not there when that's happening. He's not singing from like
Yeah.
seeing it or having experience. It's almost like he's spiraling with these thoughts of this girl that he loves being with another man and like torturing himself in the process.
Yeah.
And like you said, the way that he's like, and it really adds to that element of he's spiraling and kind of losing it.
Yeah.
It happens, I think, a lot, especially on this album, is like that moment of snap where it transitions from like that verse to the chorus, where all of a sudden it's not really catharsis, but it's kind of, it goes from the panic to like reveling in the jealousy.
Right.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to have written it. Like, I never really thought about it like that, but when we were listening to it this time, I was like, why does it sound like somebody talking through like a panic attack?
Yeah.
It's just like one big run-on sentence of like your thoughts just like spilling out word vomit type thing.
Yeah, I think the Killers are, from what I've heard so far, good at like conjuring up that kind of like raw emotion that you feel in like these kind of situations, or you know, it's just good at expressing, like, you know, they're good at expressing how they feel and the emotions that the protagonists in these songs are going through.
Yeah.
So
I feel like the imagery is really clear for some reason.
Yeah.
Like every song on this album, I can almost, like, I can see it happening.
Yeah.
With the exception of some of the more vague ones. Like, I don't know what to think about some of the songs. Just like, this is just, things are happening.
Yeah.
You're just saying things, and the music is good, but do you want to do the next one?
Yeah. What's the next one again?
The next one?
Oh, Smile Like You Mean It?
Yes.
Yeah. This is, I feel like I might have heard this one. I'm not 100% sure, but
this is one that's around, but it's not usually one of the biggest hits.
Yeah, it says on Genius, it says it's a fan favorite.
Yeah.
So like amongst Killers fans, they like it. But
Killers aficionados.
Yeah.
Serial killers, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, this one. This one I don't really fully get what it's. I mean, like, Smile Like You Mean It. I don't know. Like,
I found like just in general themes of like change and also acceptance when he is singing about someone is playing a game in the house that I grew up in, and someone will drive her around down the same streets that I did, and then he says like, smile like you mean it, smile like you mean it. It's almost like trying to outweigh the bad with the good in life, and like change happens, and like sometimes it's not great, but like smile anyways and make it look like you mean it and make the best out of a bad situation.
It feels a little bit like, maybe this is just like a really distinct personal experience, but like,
Calum's gonna reveal it.
I know. Yeah.
Childhood trauma coming out on the podcast.
Not childhood. Like, after you've broken up with somebody and then talking to them again years later, and like it kind of brings up the same pain that you originally felt during the breakup, of like, things are different, but I still feel like I still
stuck
wish
in
they
that
were.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the bridge where he says that, like, the house I grew up on, or the, what was it? What did he say?
Someone's playing games in the house I grew up in.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I think it's like, it's almost like these nostalgic things that he loves and holds dear are like being perverted, you know, like somebody else is like
he's seeing something change that he desperately doesn't want to,
you know, like like this stuff that he holds very dear is like being used and abused by somebody else. And that's the title. I just kind of got like, you know, it's almost like when you're in a shitty place mentally, and it's like you're just kind of, like you said, like kind of trying to pretend, like put a smile on, and like, you know, smile like you mean it, like you're trying to pretend like you're okay.
It's funny because, like, as the way that I am the inverse of when people like, it almost is upsetting when I see somebody smile at me, but I know that they don't mean it. So it's kind of like, don't lie to me. Yeah, maybe that's just my way of saying it.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's kind of vague still. I don't know exactly like what the song is about, but there's some interesting themes going on though. Yeah,
it definitely feels stuff about like change and growth and like loss of innocence and stuff like that. Yeah, loss of childhood.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. After that one, is Somebody Told Me, which I actually know what this song is about, and it's. I want to see what you guys think it's about first, because it's kind of. not weird, but it's not what you would think, I guess.
Yeah, I don't like. I really have no idea.
I'm just going back to look at the lyrics again because I can just hear like the chorus and that's it in my head right now. But I had written down that it made me think about like the chase of a new romance almost. Like, I'm trying to find.
Well, there's something about a rumor. I never thought I'd let a rumor ruin my. What is it? Rumor.
I never thought I'd let a rumor ruin my moonlight.
Yeah. But the line that really confuses me is like somebody told me that you had a boyfriend who looked like a girlfriend. I had that
It's a lot of like like
keeping track of
things being thrown around.
Yeah, like wait,
what's
what?
Yeah, this one I never realized how like convoluted the lyrics kind of were.
Yeah.
It's just one of the songs where it's like, it's going, and then I get to the chorus, I'm like, I love this song.
I have to be honest, the first thing that I thought of when I heard that line was like, did he date somebody that is like trans? Yeah.
I thought about that this time listening to it, I was like, this song is different 20 years later.
Yeah, that's what I thought of. And I'm like, okay.
I had that thought of like, it's different 20 years later, but I didn't make that connection of like thinking that he dated a trans person without realizing it.
Dated somebody who then transitioned.
Who then transitioned, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's what the song is about.
I can almost assure you it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
but it does kind of sound like
it really does.
Yeah. But okay, so what is the song about?
It's about the difficulties of writing music, and how even if you start with a vision, it ends up changing. So the whole point of that chorus line of somebody told me you had a boyfriend that looked like a girlfriend that I had in February. It's like I had an idea that got changed to something else.
Okay.
So like what you are seeing is not what I had in mind at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the very beginning is like breaking my back just to know your name, 17 tracks, and I've had it with this game.
I see.
It's like he's writing an album and he can't figure out how to like do the last song on it.
Okay. Yeah, and it says like it's not confidential. I've got potential. Like maybe it's like the song has potential, or we
it's
have
like
potential as a group.
Yeah, like I'm working on it.
Yeah,
much. Yeah. Like I'm making something. Just like give me time to get it out.
I did pick up on the 17 tracks. I was like, I immediately thought of like an album, but I was like, I didn't know how that fit in with everything else. But that doesn't make sense.
It's almost like at different points in my life listening to the songs. I only able to figure out what it was like a year ago when I actually looked into what the song meant. The 17 tracks part as a teenager, I thought that meant like heroin addiction, like needle tracks.
Oh, okay.
So I thought it was something like he was trying to get to know a girl, but she was like a drug addict, and he was kind of like he wanted her, but he was iffy about it.
And there's a repeated thing about heaven ain't close in a place like this.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is about.
Can only guess it means that like because they come from Vegas, like writing music in Vegas is probably
City.
Like exactly like this place kind of sucks and it's influencing the way that we write.
Maybe.
I don't know for sure on that.
I don't know
line by line. I don't necessarily.
I don't know any other bands that are from Las Vegas.
Neither do I.
Yeah. That's pretty unique.
Yeah, there are definitely a few of their albums that like really throw it in your face. I think Imploded in the Mirage is one of the biggest ones, but Samstown is also like that. I think they're from like a suburb just outside of Vegas, and Samstown mentions that a lot with like how American it was and how like shitty and small it is at the same time.
Yeah,
like all these flashing lights, but we also like kind of live in a.
Yeah, well, I mean, like Vegas, there's the Strip, and then like outside of that, it's just like desert.
But it's like everybody who lives there has something to do with the Strip. Like you don't live in Vegas for any reason besides working or like being a gambling addict. So. Imagine moving to Vegas to gamble. Like,
oh my god,
I would like to go to Vegas.
My parents just went a few weeks ago, but they said that they'll probably never go back because it's kind of changed a lot. It's just like pretty run down now.
Yeah, I think it was always probably run down.
The Vegas Golden Knights are the Stanley Cup champions. Reigning. Did
you know that? What was it? It was like some sporting event that had more views, and it was like really obscure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What then? What?
Then this Stanley Cup final.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty sad.
I can't remember what it was. I think it was like some kind of.
arm wrestling or something?
No, it wasn't even like a world finals of something. It was like
really?
a game. It was like one game had more views than the Stanley Cup final.
Huh.
I want to say maybe it was like a women's like World Cup qualifier for soccer. Had like more people watching than the Stanley Cup.
Well, if it involved the U.S., then that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but still, it's like the biggest hockey event in the world. And like,
yeah. But like, you could have a whole nation watching the U.S., whereas like, if you're not a big hockey fan, you might be like, well, my team's not in it, so I'm not going to watch the final. I don't know. I'm playing defense for the NHL. Guys, our ratings are fine, okay?
Its views were 43% lower than last year.
Damn.
I can't remember.
It was a pretty good final, but I mean, the last game was extremely lopsided. But it's actually the most goals in a cup clinching game.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was like 9-1. It was ridiculous, but
well, zero hockey fans. Yeah, probably nobody fucking watches it. All right. After Somebody Told Me is All These Things That I've Done, which is the last song on this side.
Yeah,
I liked that one a lot.
Yeah.
It's a really good one. It's like it's got a kind of a different feel to it than most of the ones.
Yeah. Even like lyrics aside, like meaning of the song aside, the repeating lines of like I got soul but I'm not a soldier, the way it like when I first saw like the repeating, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna be good, if they're gonna do it justice. But the build up was done so well.
And there seemed to be at least I saw in Genius there was like another group.
There's like a choir.
Yeah,
it's like a soul choir group that they had just for that song.
Yeah, it's what are they called? The Sweet Inspirations.
Dang.
Yeah. So
which I didn't know about until today either. So.
And weirdly enough, I really liked how like the title of the song was introduced at the end of the song.
Yeah,
like it is the last thing
because you're waiting for them to say it.
Mm-hmm, it worked so well, and sometimes like the title of a track might not even be in a song, but
it's like the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood meme, like
golf
showing on TV.
But the placement was just like chef's kiss. It was good.
It's like even though it's at the end, it's almost like it's all building up to the one time they say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of all comes together, like, I see,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It is funny because, like, looking, like, I didn't realize how many times they repeat that I've got soul, but I'm not a soldier. Like, looking at it, it definitely looks like it's going to go on forever. But I think because of the way that it, like, ramps up and they add the instruments back and they add the choir.
I think it's a very clever, like, play on words.
It's interesting, yeah. I don't really know what this song means.
I took it as, like, becoming a man. Like he's talking about what's the lyric that he says?
Yeah, it's definitely like a maturation of like, just becoming like an adult and
like is there room for one more son? Like almost like can I be a kid for a little bit longer? Like I don't know.
Or like just like is there a place like in society for me?
Or even, like, is there a place within his family for him? I don't know if he has, like, siblings, but, like, if you're, like, the fourth youngest kid or something like that, like, if he has, like, 2 or 3 older brothers, do you feel kind of left out?
Yeah, and then there's, like, there seems to be, like, I detected, like, a theme of, like, you want somebody to help you, but, like, because he says you're going to bring yourself down. Like, it's almost like, don't... It's like he feels like a burden to other people.
Yeah, like he wants help, but he doesn't want to be a problem.
Right, like bring other people down with him. I think there's kind of like a vague relatability that like everybody could feel with this song, where it's just like, being a young person and slowly becoming an adult.
Yeah. I'll show you guys the most recent single at some point. Because it definitely really captures that. And the other one is like the album is called Pressure Machine, but the song Pressure Machine on it is really like that too. I'll probably bring that up at some point for an episode, but it's funny to listen to Pressure Machine after listening to songs off Hot Fuss, because Hot Fuss is about whoever is singing, like the character, like growing and like experiencing that, and then Pressure Machine is so much about watching his kid go through that,
right?
That you can see.
That's interesting. Like the flip of the perspective.
You can almost see the growth.
Yeah.
And like watching the kid go through it, but then having his own issues on top of it. So that could be a fun little comparison to do when the song comes out. which is an album that, like, there are two Killers albums that are just kind of different from the rest of them, and that Meg and I never really got into. And I got really, really stoned a while ago and listened to Pressure Machine while playing, like, Cyberpunk, and there were points where it was just, like, it was talking, and I was like, I don't know how long this has been going on for. There's, like, 2 minutes of just, like, you can just hear distant speaking. I'm like...
Wait, this is the one that you said is, like, half-spoken word?
Yeah, well, it's like every song starts, because there's two versions. There's, like, the regular version, there's the abridged version, which cuts out all the talking. But, like, every song starts with... weirdly, do you know, like, when you're watching a movie, and there's, like, a background song going on, when you can, like, you hear the people's voices talking really clearly, but the music is in the background.
Yeah.
It's almost an inverse of that, where you're hearing people talk behind it, and then music starts up louder.
That's really interesting.
You might like Pressure Machine more than some of the other albums. Maybe I'll send you.
I think you told me about it.
It's kind of, I think I recommended it to you guys when I was...
You're like, this one's weird, jackpot. Yeah, I think the like what really struck me with the song was just like the arrangement and like the production was really lush and like
vibrant,
epic in nature almost. Just the way that it kind of builds.
This is the kind of song where, like, if you're watching it live, it's just like 1,000 lights going on.
Yeah,
like,
I could definitely see this being like an encore or like the last song.
Grand finale.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it usually is. I think this is one of the ones that they bring out last.
Yeah, that makes sense. Move on to the next one.
I think that's the last one on that side.
Oh, that was the last one.
Yeah. It's weird because, like, especially the first half of this album is definitely songs I listened to when I was younger and really, really liked, and the second half is ones that I started listening to when I was older and started to enjoy more. Change Your Mind is one of my favorite songs on here as well, and that's like a much more... It's a more chill one, I guess. But we'll get to that in the next 6/7 tracks, because there's a hidden track at the end, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
If not, we can just, like, listen to it through Spotify or whatever, even though it kind of kills the vibe. But that way we can listen to it all the way through.
I'm sure it's on there. Like, the album lists all the way through from Jenny Was a Friend of Mine to Everything Will Be Alright. But on Spotify, there is also Glamorous Indie Rock and Roll. And I'm just hoping we don't do the same thing we did with Bloom, where we sit here for like 15 minutes.
Oh my god, lesson learned though.
That was
why would they put it such a huge...
Well, no, it was...
The way in Spotify is weird. No, it's like the way Spotify did it. That made sense. Of like having a hidden track on the other side of the dead.
Yeah, Spotify, it was all one song, but on the like record, it was two songs, and the end of the one song that's on Spotify was split into two.
It hits like a dead groove, and then you have to move it over a little bit more to play the last one. But on Spotify, it was like a 16-minute song with 10 minutes of silence in the middle. It's like, that's the... Like, I get you want to keep it, like, maybe keep it secret, but we can all see that the song is, like, the song ends and there's 10 minutes left and it's not...
It's always hard, like, with digital stuff.
I don't know a better way to do it, but probably just make it its own track. Like,
or just buy it on vinyl.
And then listen to 10 minutes of silence. All right. Well, go listen to the rest of it. We'll do the same.
That was so confronting.
Yeah. Listen to it right now.
Do it. I love the song. All right. Let that one go on a bit longer, because otherwise it's going to get kind of weird with what audio it's dropping.
Yeah.
So I'll give that one a little more juice, more time to gestate.
That's a really weird way to phrase
No other
that.
way to have said it, yeah. That was the only way I could have said that. And I will leave that in.
Yep.
All right, that was side 2. We've discovered that there is a song, if you listen to this on Spotify, Glamorous Indie Rock and Roll is only on very specific editions of this album, so we didn't listen to it. So not that
it's
one.
not on Callum's vinyl version,
which is the definitive version of Hot Fuzz, the first version.
Yeah, well, that's like the basic version.
Yeah,
so.
No,
that's fine.
Brandon Flowers gave this to me specifically.
It was pressed by him.
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah.
Just like he produced that last song, he also did every single album on his own.
Yeah.
One of the highest selling albums of all time.
he's putting in overtime.
Yeah, that's why there was like a 4-year gap between albums later on. Is he made this, and then it was like, I gotta fucking print Hot Fuzz now. Even though it was 4 albums later, it took a break. All right, first song on this side. So what do you guys think generally of this side?
It was good. I definitely liked the first side better. I just feel like this one I feel like the first side was definitely building up over time, and this one was kind of like the building down, which makes sense for it being the second side and like to close up the album. But yeah, I feel like the first side was a little more my vibe.
Yeah, the first side is definitely full of like the best songs for the most part. Like all the really, really good ones are in that, and then you get some of the weirder stuff on the second side.
Yeah, I think this side was a lot darker than the first side. I think the subject matter. I mean, obviously you have like Jenny was a friend of mine on side one, which is part of the murder trilogy. But other than that, I feel like there's the subject matter isn't quite as like dark, I guess. I mean, it's still kind of introspective, but well, I mean, I don't know what Andy Your Star is about, but that didn't seem to me to be like
it's. We'll talk about the song and I'll tell you guys what it's about, but this one's actually kind of funny.
Okay. But other than that, yeah, like a lot, especially like the last song, so Callum said that that's like the only song that he doesn't have like on one of his playlists. I liked that track a lot just because like I liked how like you said, it was almost like all synths.
Yeah,
and
it's a little more dreamlike. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Beach House, but more like twisted at times.
I think, and I like I said, I did kind of see like what. Well, you know what? We'll wait till we'll get to the end.
Yeah. We'll get to that one.
Yeah.
But generally, you guys like the first side more than the second. I agree with that.
Yeah.
There are some really good songs on the second I like a lot, but I think the first side is where all the best songs are.
Mm-hmm. There was a little bit more synths on this side, which I didn't mind.
Yeah, I think so. Especially like there are some of them, especially where I think Midnight Show really kind of like goes off the rails for a little bit.
Yeah, and on top there's like a very distinctive synth line.
Yeah.
And that's honestly the main takeaway from this album. Like for me was like I didn't know the Killers had like synthesizers and keyboards like that in their music, and I like it. So
you do lose a lot of that in the next album. Like Sam's Town doesn't have a ton of that, and I think Sawdust has a little more punk influence. Mm-hmm. But again, like album to album, they vary pretty, not crazy heavily. It still sounds like the Killers, but they have different theming. All right, Andy Your Star. How'd you guys like that one?
Short and sweet. Like it's
3 minutes long.
Yeah, it's very almost like playful. I'm trying to like remember exactly what the song sounded like.
I almost felt like it sounded like a love song to a man, but not necessarily in a romantic way. I don't know how else to describe it, but
you're not crazy far off.
Okay.
The Andy that he was referring to, I remember him talking about this in an interview that I saw, and he was like a bully in elementary school, who was like really good like athletically, and apparently made his life like hell, like Brandon Flowers.
Okay.
And this whole song was written just to fucking make fun of him. Because that guy went on to just be a gym teacher at that school, and Brandon Flowers is famous.
Yeah.
So the whole song is basically him saying like, I remember like on the field, I remember you were incredible, and like it's talking about like, oh man, you did all these great things, like awesome. Anyway, yeah, you're famous to me.
Yeah.
I'm the only person who knows who you are, like that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole thing is just like a spiteful mocking of this guy.
Like he basically peaked in high school. Essentially.
Yeah. It's like you could do sports and you were really full of yourself. And like now I'm touring the world as one of the most famous bands, and
that's awesome actually.
Well, now that I'm like rereading the lyrics after you saying that,
it makes sense.
It's clicking.
Yeah.
Even the line where it said leave your number on the locker and I'll give you a call. Hey, shut up. Hey, shut up. I can only imagine it was like he probably was like teasing him and like left like a number saying like trying to seem like he's a girl, and then
it's like his number is making fun of him.
Yeah. Whereas at first I was like thinking he was admiring this person, but maybe he kind of is, but like with a twist of irony. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's almost like he's saying like it's like he knows that this guy has accomplished nothing.
Yeah.
So he's just going out of his way to like talk about the very little he's done as if it's a big deal.
Right, yeah.
Despite being on an album.
Being sarcastic.
Yeah, it's just like it's a whole song of being sarcastic.
That's actually really funny. I like that a lot.
It is funny. I like that one.
Yeah.
And the end, because Andy, you're a star and nobody else is. In nobody's eyes but mine.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't read.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now
that's
that
cool.
you say it that way.
Yeah, like nobody knows who you are except for me, and I made a song about it.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I love that because did you say this was in an interview that he
I think so.
explain this?
Yeah, I don't remember if
I like
it was
that
like a
he-
written article, like an audio one. I can't remember where I read it or saw it, but
Yeah, I like that he addressed it though and was like,
yeah.
Yeah.
He actually
it sounds confusing and it sounds like
Yeah.
he's admiring someone in a way if you don't know that small detail.
Mhm.
he explained. I think almost every song on the album is the same reason why I know like what Believe Me Natalie is about, which is kind of depressing. Because that one's also not really clear, but we'll get to that in a sec. But he did explain a lot of like who these people are and the songs where he name drops people.
Yeah, I also saw what that one was about. So
Yeah.
but well, we'll get to it. But I didn't really, even knowing that, I didn't like get that in the lyrics. But we'll get
Yeah,
to that.
not really. Even like reading the lyrics directly, knowing the information, it's
Yeah.
not super present.
But that actually, Andy, you're a star. That makes me like the song more.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. All right. On Top. How'd you guys like that one?
I like like I said, I mentioned the very like prominent synth line in that song. I like that a lot. And I kind of read what that one was about.
I don't know what that one's about. I just thought it was a song for like to fuck to, basically.
Well,
I thought it was like describing a high from drugs.
That's
But
exactly
but
what it is.
I couldn't get any more in depth than that. There was
Yeah.
just like a few lyrics that I was like, okay, like I feel like he's trying to get somewhere, but there's like significant details that
are missing.
are missing, or
or like
he
something that's
throws in
misdirects.
yeah, or he throws in words that it's like, what does that mean though?
Well, it literally on the description on Genius literally says, in this song, the narrator is reminiscing about the fact that he and another girl would get high on drugs.
Oh.
So,
Okay,
So,
that's hilarious.
I guess that makes
Jamie
sense.
was bang on.
Yeah.
Just him saying we're on top, I was like, I can't fake. We're
Well,
on top. We're on top.
At
Like,
first, I thought it was like, well, I guess it would make sense we're on top, but at first I thought it was like a sexual thing.
That's what I always thought the song was.
Yeah.
It's just like,
But that would be
Like
I'm on
sex-
top. Yeah.
I mean,
But
I
yeah.
guess that makes sense, yeah.
But yeah.
I guess like the line, the day is breaking, we're still here, your
Yeah.
body's shaking and it's clear. So it's like,
you really
you
need
really
it.
need it, so let go.
Yeah, that's the,
Yeah.
like an addiction, obviously.
Mhm.
Yeah, withdrawals.
Interesting. Sex could be an addiction.
There is nymphomaniac. That's true.
And they also talk about, he says, we don't need to satisfy tonight. Get your eyes off my bride. We don't need to satisfy tonight. I think it's almost saying, like, we don't need sex. This is better than sex. Like, this
Right,
high
yeah,
is just,
right.
like,
I guess
next
so.
level.
It's like a cigarette in my mouth, or a handshake in the doorway. I don't really get that line, but I look at you and smile because I'm fun. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the kind of line that like throws you off in the analogy.
Yeah.
It's like, I
Yeah.
don't know what that means.
It's like almost like there's a specific memory tied to that you had to
Yeah.
be there to understand.
Yeah.
like a
the
really, really
context.
personal thing.
Yeah.
I just feel like this side of the album is way more personal than the others. I feel like the first side of the album is more like the Killers working together to make songs, and this is much more of like Brandon Flowers'
Mhm.
individual experience. Which actually, I think that might be a running theme through most of the albums, because I think a lot of Sam's Town is about like his life, but like I think Wonderful Wonderful is more about the band as a whole. I could be wrong, but
Is Brandon Flowers his real name?
I don't know.
'Cause it's kind of a cool name, but I was
it
like,
is kind of neat.
it could be a stage name. I don't know.
Wouldn't be surprised with the Fledge stage name, but nope, that's his name. Brandon Richard Flowers.
Interesting.
He's a singer, songwriter, and
That's
philanthropist.
probably why he got bullied.
His name was Brandon Dick Flowers.
No, because his last name is Flowers.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's cool, but if you're like, it's Flowers, it's gay, you might say that. But
That's him and his wife.
wow,
I don't know why that popped up. Who is Tana Mundkowski? Brandon Flowers' wife.
she didn't take his last name.
Yeah, why would you keep Mundkowski? Not like,
It's very progressive.
yeah, clearly.
Apparently, some guys now will take their wife's last name. Have you guys heard of that?
I feel like I've heard of that, but
Yeah.
I've never actually met someone who's done it.
There's somebody
Yeah.
in King Gizzard who did that.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
maybe it's like an empowering thing, but at the same time, it's also like she can just keep her own last
But that's
name.
just like the double standard going the other way.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
take what
Maybe they had a really like shitty last name.
Yeah,
and they're
probably.
like,
And he's
"This is
like,
my
"Fuck
out."
this," yeah, I did joke that like if Meg and I ever have a kid, we should like hyphenate our last names because it's an abomination of like Breakwell Smethurst. It's like so fucking long.
Yeah. That's fun.
All right. After On Top is Change Your Mind. This song has one of the lines that I really like. I don't even know why I like it. Is out again, a siren screams at 10:30. There's something about like the way that he sings it that's one of the most satisfying lines on the album to me.
I feel like even the imagery that comes to mind of a siren screaming is just so vivid and so.
Yeah, same thing with this song's like really good at kind of evoking imagery for you.
Yeah, this song, I guess it's just about what I think it's about is like he's attracted to this girl, but she's not really into him, and he's like, "Can I change your mind?"
I
think
pretty much agree.
Yeah, like wanting what you can't have.
I almost get the feeling that they're both attracted to each other, but they like she won't admit it for some reason.
But yeah, like
because it's not like it doesn't feel like he's trying to be like, oh, let me change your mind and make you like me. It's like, let me make you change your mind and give me a chance for this to turn into something else.
Okay. Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's like
I almost prefer to look at it that way because the amount of times that he says, "Can I change your mind? Can I change your mind?" It almost gets like
creepy.
Yeah, okay,
come
like,
on, please,
like stop begging and get over it. But I guess when you frame it in that way of like maybe she's in a relationship that she feels she can't get out of, and like there
like they've been friends for a long time, they don't want to like screw something up.
Right.
Yeah, there are lines like, while I ignore that we both felt like this before, it starts to show. So if I have a chance, would you let me know?
Like would you let me know? Like that's the part of like even if you did like me, would you tell me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like he knows that there's something there, but it's like, when you're ready, tell me.
Right. Yeah, because I think it's deeper than just being like, "Come on, please like me," you know. Like it's so. I think you're probably right. I think there's probably like a deeper, interpersonal relationship going on.
Yeah, some kind of circumstance that's keeping them apart, but it's more on her end than his, it seems.
Yeah, the same thing with some of the other songs on this side, where it's like there's some kind of history we aren't party to. Privy to.
I was gonna say, what the fuck does that mean?
I said it and I was like, that's right.
I'm not party to that.
Sorry, it's been a long day. I'm done shit today. Yeah, I really like this song. This song is really catchy to me. I don't know why. It's one of my preferred songs on this side, just to like kind of relax and listen to.
Yeah, you said it was more like a chill.
It's a little more chill. It's not even like a super chill song, but compared to the rest of the album, it's a little more relaxed.
But like that's this album definitely has a lot of like very it's very heavy.
It's like bombastic is also what I would use. Yeah,
every song is just like, maybe other than like Andy You're a Star.
Yeah,
is like
it's like kind of really like face. This is big. Like I was saying, was like the music feels full.
Yeah,
like it's so dense with things that happen. Yeah, it's really grand. That's why like I was saying, like, can you guys figure out where they're from? It feels showy like
there really isn't anything like uplifting on this album.
It's oddly really fucking dark.
It is.
Like almost all the way through, every song is kind of depressing. And then this is one of the happier ones where it's almost like melancholy. Even then, it's not happy. It's like,
like especially like leaving it with the last song.
That's probably why it was like, kind of like, these are all the bad things, but like don't worry about it.
Yeah, but okay, we'll wait till the last song because I feel like we'll have a lot to talk about that one. But you want to go on to Believe Me, Natalie?
Yeah, this one's pretty depressing.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on? I don't know why you would pick up on all the songs about, because it's super fucking.
Yeah, and like I said, I saw what it was about, and I still was like, huh? Like I didn't really get it. Like,
yeah. Well, we'll start with like, how did you guys like this one? I think this is one of Meg's favorites.
I liked it.
Yeah. You know what? I honestly, I won't say I didn't like it, but it might be my least favorite song.
Really? Yeah. It's not. It's the same thing. Like, I don't dislike it. I don't think it's my favorite song. It might be one of the songs I actually
like. I don't really like the. There wasn't anything like.
It doesn't stand out that much.
Yeah, it didn't. There was nothing that like grabbed me about it. Like the melody is just kind of like meandering, and I mean, there's definitely some cool lyrics. There's some clever like kind of wordplay. But yeah, I don't know. It just kind of like it feels like it's building up to something, and then it just never really like comes, whatever it's building up to.
Well, the building up to might be the song that comes after it, which is like the most
That's true.
frantic one of the whole album. But you're not wrong with. I think in its context of the album, it's good. On its own, it's probably like if I was able to rank them all individually, this wouldn't be one of my higher up ones. I think it fits where it is on the album.
Yeah.
I think it's the same as like Everything Will Be Alright on the end, which is like, do I listen to this one a ton? Like this is on,
but that works better as an album track.
It does. Like in its context, that one is really good as a final track.
Yeah.
But that one, in like on its own,
I wouldn't listen to that on its own. Yeah. No, but
it's the same as the second album has 2 songs called, I think it's like Interlude and Exitlude, which are just like the first and last songs.
Yeah. But why did you like this song?
I don't know. I felt like it wasn't as like in your face as the other songs, which I liked that about the other songs, but I felt like it just added something to the album that wouldn't be there without the song.
Yeah, it is like a little break, which is kind of good too.
Yeah. I struggled to know what it's about. I have to know, like you said, you have context of what the song's about. Is Natalie like his sister?
Natalie is a dancer that he knew, who contracted AIDS. So this whole song is about how he's talking about like, you don't have a lot of time left. Like, do what you want to do. Don't let anybody hold you back. Because like
this might be the last time.
Yeah, like that's what he keeps saying. Like, leave the oh no's out, as if like leave the people who are pitying you behind. Like, just do shit because you don't have a lot of time to do anything.
I never would have got that. I had written down in my notes that it sounds like he's encouraging her to like follow her dreams, whatever they are, despite what they say.
Yeah,
but I didn't really get that element of
it's not said anywhere.
I think the oh no's is like like when you get drunk and then like you wake up and you like have the oh no's, like, oh, what the fuck did I do last night?
Oh, like don't regret anything.
Yeah, so it's like go out and party because you're gonna die soon. So like, who gives a fuck?
Maybe don't have one night stands. You have AIDS.
Well, yeah, don't do that.
Use protection.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's interesting. Like the 2 different takes, because it made sense when you said it, but
I actually think
being like
it makes more sense when you I think just like I hate being pitied. It's like my biggest pet peeve is if anybody ever feels bad for me. It's like, fucking don't. Like,
such a cow.
Do your own shit. I'm
such
busy.
a fucking cow thing.
I despise
people
it.
empathizing with you.
I really don't like.
Why?
It always feels like somebody tried to get something out of me.
You're very paranoid.
I am. I didn't realize. Like, I guess it's like the lack of empathy paired with the massive amounts of adrenaline. It's just like I'm always waiting for somebody to like come out from around the corner with a knife.
Kill you. Yeah.
It's like why are you holding the door for me? You got my kidneys. Like,
don't do nice things to me.
I might need therapy.
So that's like the complete, like the most extreme response that you could have.
Oh god.
But yeah, no, I thought it was a sister because the line that says, "Mom says, why don't you stay? You've been away for a long time. Natalie, this is your last chance."
That like kind of reminds me of do you guys know? It's called Adam's Song by Blink-182.
I think I might know it, but I can't like remember it off the top of my head.
The whole song was there was a guy who like I think he was a teenager and he really liked the band and then he killed himself. And I think his family sent them the suicide note that he wrote and they made a song out of it. And like some of the lines in that are like I can't remember the exact ones, but it's basically like tell mom that it's not her fault. It reminds me a little bit of that. Like it's not. He's not related, but he knows her relationship with her family. And maybe her mom is trying to like, I don't know,
spend her daughter's like last moments with her, but
But it's like you have to do what you want to do. Like don't let anybody else. Don't let other people try and do what'll make them feel better because you're the one who's dying. Like that kind of deal.
Can this episode get any more depressing? Like Jesus Christ!
The next song.
Well,
that's depressing. The next one is it's
more disturbing.
It's a little fucked up.
Yeah.
I didn't know that this was like. Are we moving on now?
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay, I didn't know that this one was part of the trilogy.
Yeah.
So, I originally was like, is this song like is the Midnight Show supposed to be sex? Like, is this song like about infatuation and lust? But now
I think we just think
Is
this about fucking someone?
the song is about that. Like the whole song is based around like he's so jealous that she might be with somebody else that he kills her.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so weird that he like this trilogy is spread across like it's so random. Like the first song on the album, like the 9th song on the album, and then a song 3 albums later. Like, it's really odd how they put that together.
There's King Crimson kind of does something similar with not a trilogy. I think there's like 4 parts, but
yeah, a quadrilogy.
Yeah, and it's like spread across like a couple of different albums.
Like lines like even just she turned her face to speak, but no one heard her cry. It's kind of, and like just the fact they keep saying like drive faster. It's that panicked like, I've killed her, now I need to do something.
Right.
Even I got a blanket in the back seat. I was thinking like, oh, like they're gonna fuck in the car, but
I think a lot of the song is like double meaning of infatuation. And
right. That's actually really creative.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like he's like, I'm gonna take you to a midnight show tonight. Like that's probably what he like is telling her.
Yeah.
Like if you can keep a secret. But then at the end he says, what does he say?
Like the line, "The crashing tide can't hide a guilty girl." It's like I think he dumped her body in the ocean.
Yeah, I took my baby's breath beneath the chandelier of stars and atmosphere and watched her disappear.
So he like killed her out in the middle of nowhere.
That's
and then the blanket in the back seat is where he was leaving the body, and then dumped her into the ocean at some point. And then that loops like after the end of this song. It's actually kind of funny because if you look at the lyrics, I didn't hear it listening to the song, but on Spotify, in between, it actually says like the line, "She said she loved me."
She said she loved me,
which is like that big panic, like snap in the beginning.
Well, yeah,
of Jenny,
and that's like what he's like thinking when he's like.
It's like what he's telling me. Like he's telling himself.
Yeah.
In this, like, so I'm assuming this is like a hypothetical narrative that they created.
I hope so.
No, I think he actually killed someone.
No, I'm not saying that he killed someone, but I don't know. Like sometimes they'll take it off of like true crime or something.
I
like
don't,
that, you know.
No, I don't think it was ever mentioned.
Okay, because I'm
wonder, sure something similar to this has happened though.
Probably. But when the line where he says the crashing tide can't hide a guilty girl, like I wonder in his mind, is she guilty or does he actually like have this proof that she was like, you know, unfaithful to him, or is he just like so jealous and so insecure that it just like
it's probably that same thing, like the same like Mr. Brightside, like that doesn't Mr. Brightside doesn't relate to these songs, but that like doom spiral feeling, of he probably convinced himself that she was guilty, even though he doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, this one's a bit dark.
Yeah, and you talked earlier about how there's moments where on this album where it's like they just snap, like whoever, and you can definitely hear that on this song. It's
like all those in betweens where he says like drive faster, where it's like he's almost like he's replaying what he did in his mind while he's driving, and then he's like breaking himself out of it to be like, okay, drive. I know, like I just did this, drive. It's a good song. It is
a good song.
It was, yeah.
And I think that it almost is challenging.
Oh gosh.
In the way that but in the way that it's talking about something that's so disturbing, but it's it expresses it in such an artistic way that it's almost like you can't help but be. You know,
it gets you invested. Like I'm not on his side, but it's definitely but like you can see it. Same thing as like some
like the way it's described is like, you know, it makes you I don't know.
And the double meanings, like the masking of what it's actually about, like what you initially might think it's about.
Yeah, it's like layering innuendo above of like harmful intention.
Yeah.
I liked it.
All right. And the last song, "Everything Will Be All Right." So yeah, like in the context of this album, I like it because it's a good like especially after Midnight Show, it's a good calm down song. On its own, I don't adore it. It's a bit long and kind of repetitive.
It is, but like I think like how do you interpret this song? Do you see it as like an actual like, hey, everything's okay? Because I don't see it like that at all.
No, it almost.
It sounds like he's trying to speak something into existence that he knows is not true.
He's trying to convince himself.
Yeah. That's like what I get from the repetitive aspect of it.
Like that like mantra kind of style, which is a word that comes up a lot on this podcast. Which is actually like it's a good word. Like I don't know which one of us first used it. It was in the Billy Talent album episode, but like somebody said it sounds like a mantra, and we've been saying it ever since.
Yeah. Anything that's repetitive, like it's like a mantra.
Yeah. Well, it's because especially on those ones where it feels like it's trying to convince yourself of something.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. it's almost like the song is uplifting until the end of the first like loop of everything will be all right, and then like the music turns, like the key changes for a little bit, and it suddenly feels a lot like darker.
It feels very desperate.
Yeah,
it feels like, come on, like everything will be okay, but it's like you don't actually believe it.
No, it's like he's telling that to somebody to try to make them feel better, but like he's not convinced of himself. Yeah.
And I read that they don't perform this song live often, which is not surprising. But it says it's a personal favorite among many of the band's followers.
Yeah, I feel like you would hear that about every Killer song. These people, it's like, this is a personal favorite of every, because everyone just like fucking loves most of their music.
Right.
Except for Battle Ball, which nobody has listened to. That whole album, like, yeah, it was one that I just didn't know existed. Like, really? Meg told me that there was an in-between album between a couple of really good ones, and I was like, I've never heard a song off that. And then I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I've never listened to it.
Well, they don't have that many albums, right?
They have a decent number. Like 8.
Okay.
Which for a band...
Well, for a band from... Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, King Gizzard has like 20.
Yeah, but that's different.
I know.
Your music is different.
Yeah, but like, even that's like such an outlier.
They really is.
Put out
that's like, kind of insane. It's
they
like
put
more
out
than
5 albums in 2016.
Fuck, man.
So, we need some. I'll bring some King Gizzard here eventually.
Okay. Yeah, that one is. It is an interesting one to end off on. I'm not super surprised that they don't play it live because
I feel like
without the context of the album, yeah, like
people just be like, play Mr. Bryce.
Yeah, it's like this isn't a. Like, would you end the concert with this and then like go into a
encore,
or like this wouldn't be?
No, this would be too much of a downer.
Yeah, I don't think this would be a song.
I don't think this, but I will say most of the songs on this album I think would work great live, and that's what I was thinking. I was like,
yeah, like they are very good live too. Like,
yeah,
especially like all of them have like a lot of personality.
Well, you've seen them, right? Like,
I've not actually seen them in person.
Oh, okay.
I really want to. But like Brandon Flowers specifically, he's like so animated on stage.
Yeah,
like he's like making motions and like running around and shit. Yeah, he's he's a lot.
I definitely get that sense from the music. I'm like, they would be probably really cool to see live.
It's like the band that I most want to see live. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say that this song I don't think would work like anywhere else in the album aside from at the end.
It'd be really out of place anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because it's like really different from the rest of the album.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
but I like it though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You give me a new appreciation for it with like the point of view of like it's more like depressing. Yeah, I still don't think it's like the best song on there, but I enjoy it more for what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well,
we have to figure out a new album.
I know, I was gonna say it's time to spin the wheel.
I do not have it ready.
It's time to spin the wheel of mythicality. That's the second time I've said that on a podcast.
Mythicality.
The first time was on Good Mythical Morning because I was on the show.
Oh yeah. Well,
on the episode about
the Patreon stretch goal, whatever the fuck, we'll put Jack's episode of Good Mythical Morning.
Yeah, because it's on an episode about urine. So I was like, great.
Forgot about that. Yeah. Oh god. You do need to replace Bloom.
Okay. Well, right now we're just spinning.
We're just doing mine.
Oh, doing
right?
Jack's. Yeah. I'm a silly man.
You silly goofy man.
Yeah.
So remind me what albums I have on my list.
No.
It's a surprise.
It is.
Fuck you.
Yeah. When we get one of yours, I'll well, it's gotta be one of yours, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
I don't know what I'm talking about. Give me a sec. Oh god, there's so many things on here that I'm afraid of coming up.
Out of Jack's pick?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, I thought you just meant like on your phone. I'm like, what the fuck?
No. I'm just like scrolling past
Christ,
to find like the wheel. Do you have a Julia Jacqueline one on here?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so that's not what I was like. Why does Jack have 6? I took it wrong. So if the Julia Jacqueline one comes up, then it won't.
We spin it.
Respin it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Fucking drum roll, please. Still going. Please keep going.
Please don't be Nine Inch Nails.
It's 9 Inch Nails.
Are you fucking serious?
The Downward Spiral by 9 Inch Nails. Sorry, Jamie. Lol.
It literally says that. I'll survive.
So if you guys
I just have to mentally prepare.
If you guys thought that this album was depressing,
Oh boy. I don't know if depressing is the like word that comes to mind when I think of Nine Inch Nails.
Well, it's gonna be.
I feel like it's just like the word that comes to mind is noise.
I think this like
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be the one episode we have where it's not me shitting on what people like. It's gonna be Jamie.
I think
it'll be a nice change.
like I want to see if this album actually like makes you like cry, like either of you.
What the fuck? Like,
Well, because I've cried listening to this album.
Really?
before.
That doesn't
Yeah.
surprise me, but I don't think I'm going to.
Like at least the last song, I definitely cried to. So
We'll see. Yeah. Never cry in front of another man.
this could be your chance. That's my whole goal of this podcast. I want to make Cal
You would just keep playing Genesis. You will eventually.
not out
You'll
of
wear him down.
not out of sadness, but just out of like anguish.
It's like the happiest song in the album. Just like fuck.
let it end.
Oh god. All right. Well, thank you for listening.
Well, that'll be fun.
Yes, it will. I am excited for that one. I've never really listened to much Nine Inch Nails, and I really liked the song that you showed us in the Lost episode. Is this
Right.
the one that song's from?
No, this is the next album.
Okay. Yeah.
It's another
I'll be okay.
it's another concept album.
Oh,
too.
here
Oh,
we
good.
go.
Okay, maybe I'm not as into it as I was. Awesome. So next month we're doing the themed month of music that our parents liked.
Yes.
I guess that's next week. So
Mhm.
I've already forgotten the order. What is it? You, me, Jack?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because for some reason we didn't do the same order for the albums that we do with the...
Yeah, it's a different.
I don't know what we were doing when we were picking out the album episodes.
We'll just.
Well, when we
stick with
picked out the album, we just spun the wheel
We
with
just spun
all
the
of
wheel.
us.
Yeah,
So like
that
the
was
first
it,
person
yeah.
was random.
Yeah.
But
All right, well, we'll catch you next week. Like, comment, and subscribe. All that.
it. Share the video with your
garbage.
friends.
Yep, so I've sent it to everybody. Clip the parts. Clip the part where I start the recording, and then I don't remember what I did. I was like creaking in the chair too much.
Yeah.
Instead of let it gestate.
Let it
Send
just-
that part.
Yes.
Yeah, send that part to your
And-
friends.
Yeah.
start a chain email and just let it go.
Yeah.
See how far we can take it.
Mhm. Fax it to
You will
your
have
friends.
7 years of bad luck if you don't listen to this whole
Yeah.
podcast
Oh, yeah.
episode. And send it to 12 friends.
Very specific.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Mail it to your grandma. Burn it to a CD. Leave it in the woods somewhere for somebody in 3 generations.
Telegram the link to somebody.
Put it on VHS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Send the whole thing in Morse code to
Yeah.
Europe.